Hello, and welcome to the first Vet Talks. I am Mike Moses. I am a veteran, and I've been waiting to do this for quite some time. If you're a veteran, family member of a veteran, or just interested in helping veteran issues, I hope you'll tune into Vet Talks. It is a passion of mine to get the information out to help you and your family, to learn more about support groups, what your rights are, and where you can go for more help if needed. We're going to start right now with the issue of employment. Our first two guests are experts when it comes to helping veterans find employment. Joining me to my right now are Lane Williams and Alan Crawley with the Maryland Department of Labor, Licensing, and Regulations. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Well, thank you for the invite.
Today, we'll go ahead and get started. Mr. Crowley, since you live down in this area and you're familiar with Waldorf and Charles County, I'll let you go ahead and get started. What you actually are doing in this area as far as veterans?
Sure. I'm the local veteran employment representative for Southern Maryland, all three counties, Charles, Calvert, and St. Mary's. And what I actually do is outreach to employers to help develop opportunities for veteran employment. In addition, I also oversee the services provided to our veterans to ensure that they get priority of service and that they are prepared for employment.
Very good. And Mr. Williams, what from your angle? How do you help veterans?
I am the Veteran Service Program Manager, and with that, there are 40 veteran representatives throughout the state. The 40 veteran representatives are located in our one stop, and they are divided into two roles. One role is the local veteran employment representative, and the other role is the disabled veteran outreach program specialist. Part of my responsibility is to oversee those representatives and to manage them and to give them the resources they need to perform their job.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Crowley, could you emphasize the point as far as education this day and age with the economy as it is and how it can support or help the veterans?
Well, education is really the key today, Mike, as we look at it, because a lot of veterans, when they leave the service, don't have the credentials, the certifications, if you will, to obtain employment or to be highly competitive for that employment. So education becomes the one thing that they can take advantage of through the GI Bill or veteran grants or any opportunities. Even some of the community colleges will work with veterans to get them enrolled and get the proper credentials they may need to gain employment.
Okay. What type of outreach, Mr. Williams, is available for veterans to actually want to jump on this good support group as far as education?
I encourage all veterans to focus mainly on the federal resources. When you talk about the Veteran Administration, I think they should focus on the State of Maryland Veteran Administration. With those agencies, we receive funding from the federal government, and there are a lot of websites of resources out there, but they only focus in on individual needs. So by going through the federal and going through the state, I think we're able to do a great assessment on the veterans and point them in the right direction for support.
Very good. Is there a big roadblock or any hurdles as far as the transition for the veterans when they're coming out, getting into the real life again?
Well, I think some of the biggest barriers for them are transitioning with the resume. They have to now learn how to transition from the military side to a civilian job. So that's one hurdle they run into. Opportunities, they have to be more plentiful for veterans, and they're having a hard problem in identifying those. In fact, that's what I do, and I have a hard time identifying them. So we need more communication from employers to veteran reps to better prepare veterans. Those are just some of the hurdles that we face currently.
Okay. Now, as far as support, many times there's always support groups of the families and the wives and the girlfriends and the parents. From your point of view, what's there for them as far as helping them out?
I encourage them also to look into the VA, the Veterans Administration, for support and help. Look into the state agencies for help and support. But there are over 35 one-stops in the state of Maryland. And with those 35 one-stops, we have veteran representatives that are very, very trained as far as providing resources. And Mike, it's kind of like going into the hospital. You know, when you are sick, you go to hospital to get care. So I'm encouraging our veterans and their spouses to go into the one-stops because those are where the professionals are that can help them and assist them in their needs.
Okay. As far as connecting with the various types of employees, does a veteran just walk into an employee and say, hey, look, I just got out, I got my DD-214, what can you do for me?
Well, I would think that could happen. That's cold calling, but I would really suggest that they come see a vet rep, ensure they take advantage of all the preparation workshops that we have to better prepare themselves, because you only get that one time to make an impression, and not every employee is going to be, looking just for that veteran service. They're going to be looking for a lot of other things. So if we can help them prepare that first time in, they could definitely make some inroads to obtaining employment.
What's available for disabled vets?
I'm glad you asked that question because part of the veteran representatives that I manage, they're broken into two components. And the most important component is the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist. That individual is definitely dedicated to helping veterans with disabilities, veterans that have barriers to employment, veterans who need intensive care. So that DVOP is trained and to do a full assessment and to work with that veteran throughout his search for employment and provide the resources that he would need to get back into the workforce.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever find veterans in a rejection attitude as far as going to school, or they say they just don't want to be bothered, or any negative feedback?
Well, a little sometimes, mainly because they're already experienced in some industry and they feel like that should be enough for them to obtain employment. But guess what? It's not a lot of times, because if you're a truck driver, you still got to have a CDL no matter what. And they're just really frustrated with, starting back over again. Why should I go back to step one when I'm already got 5, 10, 20 years of service? I should be a lot farther down the road. So yes, there are some frustration with that process.
Okay, you've been kind of like the overseer with this business to boots. Is that the right thing? You say business to boots or boots to business?
Boots to business.
Boots to business, okay. Can you just give us some feedback on what that's all about as far as a business point of view?
Yeah, well, actually, that's an opportunity to take a veteran that has experience already in the environment of, construction, things like that, where they're already experienced, and transition that right into employment on the civilian side. So that program really works hard to connect veterans with skill sets they have already and employment.
Okay. Mr. Williams, could you give me some idea about this project opportunity? Are you aware of anything of that?
Project Opportunity is an initiative that Mr. Alan Crowley has been pushing through the Southern Maryland region. He's very knowledgeable in the area. It's kind of new to me, but he's been keeping me updated on that initiative.
Okay. Do you have any possible candidates?
Right now we have 12 veterans going through our first Project Opportunity Entrepreneur Training Program. It's a 10-week program, and it's really prepares them for not only marketing but financial, business plan. It's a great opportunity. It's free to the veteran. So all interests right now, if they would be happy to contact me, I'll be more than happy to get them ready for our next annual class. We look to have between 10 to 15 veterans in that class at one time.
Okay. Should there be some type of instructions given or help, assistance given to employers and churches to accommodate the new veterans coming back during their transition?
Definitely. And I think what employers can do, even more than the veteran, is they can also contact veteran reps throughout the state. We're in every one-stop location. We'll be happy to post that website. But again, that would be a start for employers. We want to get them the information to better prepare them for veteran employment.
Okay. Are you? What is this? My eVets, Healthy Vets. Can you just give me some feedback? Is it something that veterans can actually put their information on profile as far as the medical issues? It's called My Healthy Vets.
I believe you're referring to a process that VA has put online called e-benefits.
Okay.
I believe that's where a veteran could find that help at. It allows them to track their claims. It allows them to track their services and apply for anything that may be available.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming out today. I really enjoyed the information you gave. It was a large amount of information that I wasn't aware of, and I'm sure the public, as well as the veterans, now feel a little more comfortable. And I hope to see you again sometime soon.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to learn a huge amount about a job fair that's coming up and happening in Waldorf.
Come here.
I love you, Dad.
Welcome back to Vet Talks. I'm your host, Mike Moses, a veteran who is committed to help other veterans. In our first segment, we talked a lot about jobs, and we're going to continue with the theme. Joining me now is Eleanor Nelson. She is a director of Job Match Reemployment Project here in Charles County, and she's a career coach. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you coming.
I'm delighted to be here, Mike. Thank you.
Good. Could you just give me an idea of how you got to Charles County and what that's all about?
Yes, indeed. I'm happy to say that. And let me say that I serve Charles County, St. Mary's County, and Calvert County. The grant that I manage comes from the federal government to the state of Maryland to the Tri-County Council. My offices are off Post Office Road in Waldorf because that is considered to be a central location for all three counties. Mm-hmm. So I am enjoying learning about Charles County. I live in Chesapeake Beach in Calvert County, and this project has allowed me to get to know the good people in Charles and St. Mary's as well.
Okay, very good. Give the public some kind of idea, when we start talking about grants and whatnot, can you give us some kind of idea what that's all about?
Well, we all know jobs, jobs, jobs has been the hallmark of what concerned people both with jobs and without jobs are most focused on, or we hope they are. Mm-hmm. So the grants that are available are either specific to veterans, which is your interest, or in my case, the grant that I have managed is specific to both veterans and other professionals who have had significant management experience. And as you know, people with significant management experience are most of the time at the top of the salary ladder. Mm-hmm. And if tough economic times are forcing people to make hard decisions about their businesses, the person or the people with the top salaries are often the first to go. Mm-hmm. So in that case, they have a place to come because my project is designed to meet their needs, or in the case of the vet who is leaving and has had considerable responsibility within the military, we welcome them. And the most important thing, whether you're a vet or whether you are a professional manager who has suffered from the downturn in the economy, is that this is a time when we must distinguish ourselves.
Okay.
So my challenge is to give either vets who are integrating out of the military or other professionals the tools they need to be successful in what we call their next best fit.
Okay, very good. Now, I'm involved with a lot of vets on the campus, and a lot of them are interested. What would be the first step they would need to take in order to come in your direction?
What a good question. The first thing that they would need to do is to get in touch with the Job Match Reemployment Project
Okay.
and to let us know that they are available, and then we would get the information, and there are criteria for my particular project. If those criteria do not fit their background, then we will refer them to other projects that the Department of Labor and Regulation offer.
Okay. Okay. What is the turnaround time?
The average turnaround for the Job Match Reemployment Project is 4 to 5 months, which we're very proud of that because many other programs don't quite get there. We have some people who stay longer, but we have some people who end up, we call them success stories.
Okay.
Right at this point, we have 310 success stories. And we feel like that's 310 people who live in the Tri-County area, many of them in Charles, who got to keep their home, who could continue to send their children to college or to continue their education themselves. And these people, as you well know, are great contributors to their community.
This sounds exciting. Would you have a testimony that you could tell us at this particular time of someone who was successful?
Well, the success stories are, as you can imagine, different with each person. Often vets find that they have kept up if they network, and networking is 97% of being a success story.
Okay.
And part of, I'd say even more than one vet, what has happened, they get back, like they chose to settle in the Tri-County area, and I encourage them to think about everybody they ever worked with in the military that they felt to be a good leader or they had a great work experience within the military. So they begin to make their list of people, and we find out who might be in Pax River. Often they've kept in touch. So they know that their old buddy in some godforsaken hole somewhere that they were in danger with is down at Pax River with DOD-related business.
Okay.
So I would say more than one success story has come from them getting in touch with a buddy who is well situated in a DOD-oriented environment, understands what their service in the military entailed, and they're down there making 6 figures.
Very good, very good. Now, from your point of view, just your definition, what do you consider as rapid resource? Can you give me an idea? What
Rapid response?
Response, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Rapid response means it's the old saw about if you fall off the horse, get right back on it. So rapid response means that rather than going to some kind of isolated, poor me, I don't have my position in the military anymore, or I don't want to go out and see my friends because they all know that I'm a dislocated worker, that instead of looking at this particular time in their lives is difficult, they say, well, my goodness, I have 5 minutes to think about my own career. I have 5 minutes to make a plan, and I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to network with people. I'm going to reinvest in my community, and this doesn't have to be the worst time of my life. Why not let this be the best time of my life?
That's a good point. That's really good. That's really good. Is there particular date this hiring event will take place?
I'm glad you asked about our hiring event, and as I told you a few minutes ago, last year we had the first annual Southern Maryland Job Fair.
Okay, okay.
As it turns out, even though we called it a job fair, it was a hiring event.
Okay.
But within a year, everything changes, and now it is not a job fair anymore. It's a hiring event, and I'll tell you why it's a hiring event.
Please do.
Well, first of all, Regency Furniture Stadium is a marvelous venue.
Okay, okay.
So what we did, both last year and this year, we chose a day where there was a ball game.
Okay,
And part of our deal with Regency Furniture Stadium and the Blue Crabs is that everybody gets a free ticket to the ball game.
okay.
So we have a ball game that ends the day because, as you know, talking to people that you want to have a job offer from can be stressful.
True, that's true.
We also had 3 breakout sessions for employers who were coming to hire and 3 breakout sessions for job seekers.
Okay.
3 different interests, so there were 6 sessions.
Okay.
We are beginning the event with a lunch that is hosted by Steny Hoyer.
Okay.
And we invite all the elected officials from the 3 counties.
Okay.
And we have a keynote speaker, and it is an opportunity, we call it the Business to Business Lunch.
Okay.
Opportunity for businesses in all counties to talk to each other and to their elected representatives.
Okay.
So we have the lunch, and after the lunch, we will begin the interviewing. And I will let you know that last year, we give people an opportunity to pre-register.
Okay.
We had 250 people pre-register, and we had a little over 700 walk-ins.
Okay.
So we had close to 1,000 people, many of them veterans, I'm sure,
Okay.
who were able to have an opportunity to tell their story.
Okay. Very good, Ms. Nelson. I really enjoyed this evening, today, sitting here talking with you. You gave me a lot of information. I'm having my first veterans meeting coming up soon, and I will take all this information you gave me today and give to them.
And I brought you some flyers.
Very good, very good. And again, I really appreciate you coming out, and thank you.
And I thank you.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll talk about some serious issues some veterans face and what one group is trying to do to help. That's coming up next.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back. My next guest is dedicated to helping the military veterans get help. The group is called Southern Maryland Battle Buddies. And joining us today is Dr. Alan Brewster. Thanks for coming, Doctor. I really appreciate this.
Thanks a lot for having me, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good, good. First of all, let's start out. What are the needs for Southern Maryland as far as a veteran? Is it a unique thing to have needs for the help for veterans?
Well, what makes our area unique is that we're a rural area and we're medically underserved. There aren't a lot of resources for veterans in rural areas. It's kind of an interesting situation. While only 19% of people nationwide come from rural areas, small rural demographics, over 40% of military people do, and there's probably a wide range of reasons for that. But the fact is that we are quite distant. Even Charlotte Hall, for many veterans, is 45 minutes or an hour drive away. And if they have to take away time from their job, they're paid by the hour, or they work on commission, or whatever, it's difficult for them to get the services that they need through the Department of Veteran Affairs. And a lot of the services that vets need require their family's involvement too. And once again, it's difficult for them to get away if they have to travel a long distance for services. So that's one of the things that makes providing services for veterans in Southern Maryland unique.
When you say veterans, are you talking about veterans of all wars or just some wars?
talking about anyone that's really served in the military, and they needn't have actually been in a war. A veteran, a military veteran, is simply someone who has served in the military. And we extend that notion of veterans and providing services to people to those families of veterans too, because oftentimes they're impacted as well as the vet by the service that has been provided to our country.
Okay. How can we as a community ease the pressure on the veterans who are going through transition as well, to mingle with the community?
Well, that's a really important question, and there's a lot of different ways that we can ease that pressure. I think the first thing, and I know that you've already had Alan Crawley, who's a great resource with the Department of Labor here. The first thing is for employers to realize that veterans, by and large, have some really unique skills and a work ethic that has been honed through their years of service in the military. They also have some sense of maturity and some sense of responsibility that perhaps sets them apart from others. So if an employer is looking to hire, I would encourage them to consider veterans first. The other thing that people can do is really welcome a vet back into the community, recognizing that where they've been has been really a world apart from being back home in Southern Maryland, and welcome them back into the schools, into the churches, back into the employment scene, back into the neighborhood, just showing people that you appreciate them. There are a wide variety of things that people can do, even employers, not employers, but even folks that operate businesses, business people, just acknowledging that veterans have done something special with a small discount. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just recognizing that this person has provided some service to our country. And when children go to the store and they see that merchants are offering a small discount for veterans, something will click in their mind, and they'll think that military service is something special, something good. Because less than 1% of people nationwide really have any experience with the military. In Southern Maryland, we're rich with a military heritage, and there's a lot more here.
Good point. Explain to me, what is Battle Buddies? I've heard so much about it.
Well, I'm glad you have, Mike, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Battle Buddies. Battle Buddies is a completely voluntary organization. The idea is to provide that peer-to-peer, vet-to-vet support. We take people who have been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and somehow managed to adapt back into the community, and have some military background and experience, and we train them not as counselors, but we do give them counseling skills. But they're not counselors. They're trained to be that buddy, that support person, that person that can be contacted, day or night.
You're talking about training. Is it long training or semesters or college? Or?
I'm glad you asked about that too. It is long. It's 32 hours of training, which is a significant amount of time. And right now we're doing it on Saturdays. We're going to start May 18th up in Prince Frederick at Trinity United Methodist Church. And we're training another group of Battle Buddies. My last group of Battle Buddies has been trained and been providing services for the past 2 years. And they're really swamped with vets that need help. So we're training another group. We match men with men, women with women, for the obvious reasons. And they provide that kind of advocacy, that kind of peer support. And we meet as a group, our Battle Buddies, and provide some supervision and help for them so that they can understand what resources are available for the vet that they're helping.
Where was that location again?
It's 90 Church Street at Trinity United Methodist Church in Prince Frederick.
Okay. Do you have a phone number?
Yeah, the Battle Buddies hotline is 443-975-5262. And we have a website as well that has been built for us by somebody local. We appreciate their help. Our website is www.battle, B-A-T-T-L-E, hyphen the dash, buddies, B-U-D-D-I-E-S, .us. And if you go there and you hit the little media drop-down menu, up will pop a 3.5-minute video that tells a lot about Battle Buddies.
Okay. Now you have Battle Buddies, so how can the public, how can the community, how can the spouses and family become involved with Battle Buddies?
Well, you can either be trained as a Battle Buddy, and that takes 32 hours of training. It takes a lot of commitment.
Okay.
There are other ways, though, too. If you have a vet or the family of a vet that you're concerned with is going through a tough time, encourage them to get connected with Battle Buddies. That would be some way that you could help. There are many other ways too. I have what I call my subject matter experts in the military. You know, we call them SMEs, subject matter experts. So there are a variety of people that we need that can help. We've gotten help from lawyers and CPAs and doctors and a variety of folks that they don't have the time to take the training to become a Battle Buddy, but they already have the skill set and they're willing to provide that to help a vet that needs their services.
Okay. I know this is not your first time in front of the camera and whatnot. You have a video out. You want to tell the public about your video?
Oh, well, the video is right there at the www.battle-buddies.us. Hit the media link and drop it. Up will pop a 3.5-minute video. And our church stood behind us and provided a professional crew to come down. They came down, spent 3 days with us to get 3.5 minutes of video. It's pretty good. It's fast-paced.
Okay.
Moves along pretty quickly.
Okay. So how would you actually approach, you and your professional, how would you approach a veteran? If you saw someone in the shopping center or church, how would you approach them?
Well, me personally, I go for the approach of sincerely thanking them for providing service. And if that is something that you can do from the heart, then do it. If it's not your style, if that feels forced or unnatural for you, then there are many other ways that you can encourage veterans. Like I said, through your business, even if you're not the owner, if you work in a business, you could encourage the boss to to recognize vets, provide a discount for them. You could a child in school could look into the research and the history of the veteran service to our country. If school teachers, and they have already in our community, school teachers can help children of military families maybe form a club, peer support group, because it's important for them to know that there are other kids, there are other children out there that have similar experiences to what they're going through.
What about the homeless? Are you familiar with some of the homeless issues that are going on with veterans right now?
Well, unfortunately, I am. And we have, actually in our video is a homeless fellow that we helped. I don't know whether you were planning on asking me as a lead into that.
That's okay, go ahead.
But Mr. Jenkins was homeless, and we found him, met him when he was with Project Echo, the homeless shelter in Prince Frederick. And now, and you'll see his story, a bit of it on the video, now he is not only not homeless, he owns his own home, Mike, and he has for the past 2 years. So oftentimes, it's not a matter of resources, it's a matter of having somebody to help that vet shape their life, focus on what it is that's important to them. In his case, it was having a home, and taking the steps necessary to get it and keep it.
Okay. So you actually helped them gain the home and keep the home and take them through the whole process?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Had a realtor, mortgage broker, bankers, a lot of SMEs, subject matter experts, helped with that process.
Dr. Bruce, I want to thank you very much for coming out today. It really inspired me, and I'm sure it inspired the public as well as many veterans who are watching and will watch this episode. Again, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all you're doing with Vet Talks. God bless you, Mike.
I want to thank all my guests for the first episode of Vet Talks. Look for more information pertaining to various issues of the veterans that are going on in the day-to-day issue with the economic times. I really want you to get this information so you can have this for the future. I look forward to the next time. Again, thank you, and see you later on Vet Talk.